Good morning, everyone. This is Brad Matheny. Today is November 20th. We are looking at a Wednesday trading activity, taking a look at the SPY cycle patterns. We're looking at a flat down pattern after our top resistance. We are still in bearish trending with explosive price action, and we are in bearish bias trending. Bias, remember, is a custom indicator that I built indicating which direction the market tends to move, meaning an underlying trend bias. An underlying trend bias, up or down, typically generates moderate overall downward trending in a bearish mode like this. Okay, so we come back over here. We're looking at a flat down. Yesterday was our topping pattern. We had kind of a moderate topping pattern yesterday. Looks like we're going to carry into a bit of a topping pattern today. You can see we're at 191.42. So we're carrying kind of up into this area. This was our sell area here where I expected the markets to move downward. We are probably going to get, with our flat down pattern, a bit of just a roll down type of a pattern today, moderate downward trending, leading into kind of a bigger, broader type of breakdown today. I don't expect, a whole lot of activity. A flat down pattern, typically pretty flat, although I will tell you that we could end up getting some kind of a deeper downward move today in the SPY and the QQQ. So looking for that rollover, literally looking for this type of a move right now into a breakdown. Now, I think that and I'm going to get rid of this because I think that we move into this flagging formation here. And I will get rid of this and this to tell you that I think what we're doing here, I'll show you this on another chart, but I think what we're doing is we're moving into, we've seen this rally, we've seen this little flag. Now we're coming down into the bigger, broader flag, and I think we're moving into that broad flag. So I think what's going to happen here is we're going to roll down, move back up over here, and then break downward into this channel. And so I think we're going to get a bit of rotation here, particularly moving into this temporary bottom in trend mode. Now, this temporary bottom could be a rolling type of a pattern like this, or it could be some sort of a rally phase like I've drawn here into a temporary bottom. So we're looking at this kind of rolling sideways. The way I would explain it best is, let me come over here to the ES, I think. Here is the way I would explain it best. This is a 4 hour. You can see all the lines that I've drawn rolling through this. This is the little upward trend that I had discussed. We're getting a basing rolling into an upward trend, just like we saw here. What I think kind of happens here is we get this rolling pattern up here into a bit of a roll down, sideways trending, and then start to really break. So you can see how that kind of aligns with this activity. Rolling, breaking, pausing in this area, and then a breakdown. So it gives you an idea of what to expect over the next day or two. And really, I don't think it's going to be that much longer. This is a 4 hour chart. So we have Wednesday into the 25th, 26th. By this time frame, the 26th, 25th, I think we're going to be in full on breakdown mode. So again, be aware we're getting this little rollover in the chart. Okay. We are looking again at a flat down, then a harami and carryover mode, then a temporary bottom on Friday, then a carryover trend on Monday, an inside breakaway on Tuesday, which I believe will be to the downside, a breakaway, which I believe will be to the downside, a counter trend rally, which I believe will be to the downside. And then we start looking at a little pause on Friday, the 29th, with a rally. Then we get a temporary bottom, which I believe will be the start of the bottom, much lower. A gap reversal and counter trend mode could continue down, a topping pattern, a flat down, a harami, and then we move into the December 10th time frame. And I think this is the real area where we start to bottom around the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th of December. So again, this whole next week or so could be a very solid breakdown, in my opinion. Okay, QQQs are moving into the same type of a pattern. Again, I kind of highlighted this stalling pattern here, which is the shorter term. Remember, we have the blue short-term excess phase peak and the green larger, what I call big excess phase peak pattern. Part of this consolidation is again going to set up the same way I talked about earlier. We're going to get this rally. We're going to probably get a bit of a breakdown. We'll get a little pause, come down here, pause, and then breakdown. So that sets up our kind of an exhaustion pattern right over here, breaking away from our channeling. And right now we've got pretty solid channeling up in this area and this area. So in fact, I'll draw those with a line. And you can almost come right across here, make this bright red, and come right across here. And there's our flagging. You can see how it's setting up very cleanly for a nice little rotation downward. We're still in an uptrend, guys, slightly higher this morning, up 0.2%. So not really anything massive. And we are looking at that flat down pattern today. So I don't expect much as far as an upturn. Okay, gold and silver still struggling around this 2631 area. You can see we rolled downward a little bit. Not super concerned with this yet. Okay, now we could get into a breakdown if we get some sort of a panic move, which I don't see happening right away. But again, the closer we move into that 25th, 26th, 27th breakdown, we could get kind of a panic move. But we do need to see gold move above these levels here. Oop, try to do that again. Basically, it's got to move back above these levels. Silver has to move back above this level. We need to see it resurge a bit to the upside. Now, this 2620 area in gold and this anything below really 31.70, $31 is a pretty good buy area for gold and silver. Okay, we've seen this flagging, we've seen the rally. We are now into the consolidation phase. You can see it here. The next phase is a rally up to here. And again, we've seen this pause, flagging, slight breakaway, came back down, broke away. Now we're in that consolidation phase. The next move is up to 32 and change, maybe even quite a bit higher for silver. So remember, we need to kind of hold up, really above this level. This is our flagging level. At this point, it would be very important that we hold up above our flagging level in both charts to be able to rally. So we're holding up okay. Silver's a bit more of a pullback. Gold needs to rally back out of this. I think the next big move here is going to be up to this 2660 area right up here, and then up to 2710 right up here. So it's just a matter right now of holding through this and building momentum past the 2640 area for gold and holding and rallying. Remember, we're in the sideways consolidation pattern. So we are in this number 3 mode now. And we are in this number 3 mode here. Here is our number 2. Here is our number 2. And here is our number 1 inverted. Here is our number 1 inverted. And we would be looking for the breakaway number 4 right here, and or right here. And then we would be looking for the ultimate peak either here, here, or higher. So now, once we get to the ultimate peak over here, let's use gold as the example. So once we get up here to this ultimate peak, and you can see here, this was the bigger, broader pattern that I drew. So let me get rid of that and try to explain to you this bigger, broader pattern. So now we come down, we have the little pattern moving through this cycle. I would expect, let me draw it again. I would expect a big, broader pattern to possibly set up here. This would be a larger type of rolling pattern for gold to set up. I made it full screen so you guys can see it. So you can see we have this low, 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 and then we have this green level right here. Let me spread this out, So here's our bottom. Here's our initial short-term flag, right? This little green flagging area right here. This was what I call the short-term or intermediate term type pattern. This is really this is a 1 hour chart. So this is a very quick little pullback flag rallying up into consolidation up here. Remember, I had drawn these areas kind of where I expected it to be, around the 20, 26, 21 area. And we're flagging out around the 2643 area, a little higher. So here's our flagging. Now we're flagging. This is our 3. This flagging could turn into a broad base. If we flag a bit downward here, maybe getting down below the 2619, maybe below 2613, down into this area, we would move into fairly defined flagging, breaking away into a rally that would move up to consolidation here and breaking even higher up into the ultimate high. So now let me try to draw that through this entire time frame. So you see how we're moving at this point from this consolidation. Here's our 2 into consolidation. We will eventually get our rally up to the ultimate high, right? That is our short-term pattern playing out right there. Now we get into the longer term pattern, which is the 1 up here to 2 flagging, coming back down here into consolidation, and then eventually up to an all-time high. That is our bigger, broader pattern playing out. And that is what I believe is going to happen, is we're going to get these dual pattern setups playing out in this inverted type of a mode. And this next move from, call it 2610, 2615 up to 2710, 2720 is going to be the end of the short-term pattern and the extension, the breakaway 2. So I will call this the big 2. I will call this the, go away, big 1, the big 3, and then the breakaway would be the big 4, and the ultimate top would be the big 5. So there's a good map of what to look for in gold. And ultimately, yeah, I mean, 2860, 2880, maybe 2900 to the upside. It really all depends on where this level is. If this ultimate peak is at 2715, then I think this 2840 area is pretty solid. If the ultimate peak is up here at 2760, or 2,800, then we're looking at maybe 2,900, because that's a full measured move. So you can see from basically from this low to this peak indicates the same rough range between this low and this peak, and this low and this peak. So you can see they're full 100% measured moves generally. Okay, so now if we got this move here as a general move, and this move then extended up into here or here, then we would be looking at this move from here to here going higher, and that puts us up to 29.54 roughly. Okay, so gives you an idea of how things are working with gold and silver. And now we will go over here to take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been really rallying. It has broken out, like I showed you yesterday. This is the 1 hour chart. Confirm long over here. We're rallying back up. We are not getting a big rally phase yet. Let me go to 4 hours. We're not getting a big breakaway yet in Bitcoin. Would love to see a big breakaway, but we're not seeing one yet. And let me move that out of the way. Move it back over here. So where we're at with this is we're in a confirmed long type of scenario because we've got this breakaway on the hourly chart. On the 4 hour chart, we're just barely getting above it right now. But I think we're looking at a fairly solid move, and I'll write these down for you, up into 95, call it 750. 95, 750, and this, if I remember right, was 100.5. There you go. So these are what I believe are the next upward targets. Now you can see on this 4 hour chart, and it really depends on what I look at. So, if I look at a 2 hour chart, it's going to show that, we failed to get above this level. If I look at a 1 hour chart, it's going to show that we did get above this level. If I look at a 3 hour chart, it's going to show that we didn't quite get above this level. So we're looking for some real confirmation here. So you can see that, it looks like we broke above this level here. I'll mark it in a red color. And it looks like we got above that resistance channel, at least on the 1 hour chart. And that to me is technical confirmation that we've got an uptrend. We need to see follow through. So at this point, like I had mentioned to you, this channel right here, I'm just going to tell you that this channel is acting as my defense line right now. If we get below this channel, okay, particularly below this low, or let me move down. We have this low. These are all Fibonacci price theory lows, or this low. Then look out. Okay. I mean, really look out to the downside. Let me check right here. Yep, we got another one right here. These lows right here and these red lines become really important because these are the most recent Fibonacci unique and standout lows. Particularly, these are all standout lows based on Fibonacci price theory. And I'm going to tell you that if we get rejection at this level, if Bitcoin fails to continue to confirm trending, now remember, Bitcoin must attempt to establish new highs and lows. That's the whole rule. Math, Fibonacci price theory is that price must always attempt to establish new highs and lows. Okay, I think it was right back over here on this thing right here. Price is always attempting to establish new highs or new lows. If price can't establish a new high, then it must establish a new low. If price can't establish a new low, then it must attempt to establish a new high. Price is always either trending or flagging. So now understand, guys, mathematically, logically, price set this high right here. Okay, I'll make it a bright yellow. It set that high just a couple hours ago, right there, a new high. Okay, if price fails to establish a new high and rolls downward, you can call this rejection of this high, this new high, attempting to now set up a new low, which is down off of this level, or down to this level, or down to this level, or down to this level. So it is just a determination of can Bitcoin get above this level and continue to rally, or will it come all the way down and break below these levels, trying to establish new lows or lower? So that's really our A or B scenario right now. We have to try to get above this 94,061. So I'll mark this 94,061. If we cannot get above that level right now, if we fail, if we reject, if we roll over in this area, then you need to be prepared that we're coming down to here and then potentially moving downward into a big correction mode downward. And that could be what happens off of this kind of a false high pattern here. So be very cautious. Even though I indicated we're in a confirmed long here, failure to continue to establish new highs means that it is. Again, it's not that it's maybe going to, it is. If it fails to continue to make new highs, it must attempt to make new lows, which means it's going to come down and take out this level. I'll make this as bright red as I can. That is going to be the level, the first level that it's going to come down and wipe out. That's a $3,000 drop, potentially going down to a $6,000 drop into these lower channels. Okay, guys, so you've got a pretty good outline for what's going on today. Remember, back here on the SPY, we're moving into this broad flagging formation, right? So you can see the lines that I drew here. Let me kind of draw them a little different. Oop. There we go. And remember, we've got the little flagging formation here. And I kind of drew these as what to expect. So I'll come in here and get rid of these. Even though they're valid, I'm going to try to redraw. So here's our little formation. Here's our big formation. Rallying up, coming back down, rolling into flagging, and then looking at our breakdown pattern down here, potentially setting up some support. So understand that we have our big kind of a broad flagging pattern right in here. And you can see where we're at. That's where we're at right now. We set up the little flagging pattern here, moved down into consolidation. That's where we're at here. The blue has moved into consolidation, looking for a breakdown into this low. That is our blue pattern. Then we have the bigger flagging formation setting up right here of the big two, which is likely to roll over in the next day or two. Really likely to move back to the downside and attempt to move back down here, which would be the, again, right here, which would be our big three, which means our big consolidation range and the ultimate 5 of the blue. From here, we either base and rally out, which I think is highly likely, or we break down further into the ultimate low. Okay, guys, hopefully these are helping you, and I'm working on some more incredible tools for everybody. In the meantime, let's go get some. Happy Wednesday.